to the Gurudeva online classes. Myself Parmesh, I am your social facilitator of 8th standard. Dear students, now we are in the history second chapter, that is none other than geographical features and prehistoric India. So as you all know, dear students, the universal, the complete divided into 7 continents and 5 important oceans. Okay, so 7 continents, it has the different kinds of land masses. So those land masses we called as the geographical features. Okay, so if you look into the 7 continents, the 7 continents are like this: the North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, Antarctica. So these 7 continents we also call it as a land masses. Okay, so rather than these land masses has the different kinds of features like plateaus, hills, mountains, plains. Okay, so these are the features of the land masses. Understand? So completely the earth has been divided into 7 kinds of continents, or also called the land masses. So these land masses have the different kinds of features. So like plateaus, mountains, plains. Okay, so after this 5 important oceans. So 5 important oceans are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Indian Ocean and Southern Ocean. So completely the earth has been divided into 7 continents and 5 important oceans. So let us talk about the 7 continents. These 7 continents have the different kinds of geographical features. Okay, what are the geographical features? How these geographical features help us to human beings? Yes, dear students, these geographical features are all the living beings, especially human beings, are depend on the geographical features. So we are directly depend on the nature. So I mean hills, plateaus, mountains, plains. We are all the things we call it as a geographical features. So these geographical features, environment, we are all adjust our life. I mean, because what are the things we get in the environment and geographical environment? We get different kinds of sources. Okay, so we are directly depend on the sources. That is why, so especially the human beings directly, completely the life all depends on the geographical environment. So when we come to the continents, which is our continent, dear students? Yes, the Asia continent. The Asia is our continent, right? So and also it is also called the biggest continent in the world. So Asia features, as I told you now, so mountains, hills, forest, people, so everything, all kind of features the Asia continent has. That is why, so Asia continent, especially India, it is called as a subcontinent. So when we consider a place as a continent, a place should have some of the features like mountains, forest area, people, okay, and these rivers, agricultural field. So these are the things. If it has the characteristics, it is called as a continent. Same thing, India is also called as a subcontinent of the Asia. Why it is? Because India, it is called diversity of country. It has everything. So that is why India is called as a subcontinent. And also India is described as the peninsular country. These students, do you know why it is called as peninsular country? Because the India, it has 3 sides of water, 1 side of land. Dear students, as you are watching the picture, so completely India it has 3 sides of water. So in the east, in the west, in the south. Towards the east there is the Arabian Sea, in the south there is the Indian Ocean, and in the west there is a Bay of Bengal. That is why 3 sides of water and 1 side of land, it is called as a peninsula. So that is why, dear students, India is called as a peninsular country. Okay, and next one, what are the boundaries of the India? So what are the boundaries of the India? Yes, The boundaries are like this. The boundaries is also called the neighbor countries of the India. What are the neighbor countries of the India? Yes. So as you are watching, dear students, the neighbor countries are Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bangladesh, okay, Myanmar, Bhutan. So these are the neighbor countries, or also the boundaries are shared with the other countries. So these are all called as a neighbor countries of the India. And also the complete India. India has been divided into 28 states and 8 union territories. The 28 states and 8 union territories. You may ask that. So what is the difference between states and union territories? So the states administration was looking into the particular government. I mean, there is a state government is looking into the administration of the states, but union territories administration, it is looking into by directly central government. Okay, and also these 28 states and 8 union territories are divided into according to the August 15th 2020 recently updates. So August 15, 2020. So these 28 states and 8 union territories are divided. And as you all know that the Jammu and Kashmir is added to the union territories and it is removed from the states. And also Andhra Pradesh has been divided into two states, Telangana and Simandra, isn't it? So and there is the 8 union territories are Andaman and Nicobar, Chandigarh, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Diu and Daman, okay, Delhi, Puducherry, Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir, okay, and these are the 8 union territories. These 8 union territories administration look into the looking by the central government. So this is all about the geographical features. And also when it comes to the India, when we look into the directions in the north, south, east and west, when you go to the north, towards the north, there is a Himalayan ranges are found. So Himalayan ranges in the north or Himalayan mountains are present, and also in the south there is a Deccan Plateau and also coastal regions. So Deccan Plateau and coastal regions in the south. And when you talk about the Himalayan mountains, the Himalayan mountains, these mountains are also described as the snow-capped mountains. So snow-capped mountains, and also there are a number of ranges are found. Ranges is nothing but the serious mountains, or the chain of the mountains is called the ranges. So there are a number of ranges are found in the north of the India. So these ranges, especially if you name into the ranges, Shivalik range, Karakoram range. So these are the important ranges of the Himalaya. And also there are a number of mountains are found. So these mountains there are Shivalik range. In the Shivalik range you can see the small height of the mountains. So in the Himachal and Himadri. So Himachal and Himadri, you can see that very high mountains are found. So example, there is a best example for the highest mountain peak is also found in the Himalayan mountain ranges. So that is none other than Mount Everest. So 8,848 meters height. So Mount Everest is the highest peak mountain is found in the Himalayan mountains. And also other mountains are Kanchanjunga, Nanda Devi. These are the other important mountains you can see. And these mountains are called the snow-capped mountains. These mountains are described as the snow-capped mountain. And also how does these Himalaya help us to India? These mountains or these Himalayan mountains are help us to, these Himalayas mountains are protect us from the enemies. Other countries, because neighbor countries, they do not enter, especially in the northern part, like in China, they do not enter because these are like obstacles. They stand like a wall. So enemies do not attack from the north part. Okay, these Himalayan mountains are protect us from the enemies. Okay, and also if you look into what is the kilometer from north to south, there is a 3,201 to 3,240 kilometer from the north to south, and from the east to west 2,933 kilometer. So from north to south, there is what is the duration or what is the distance of north to south? So 3,240 kilometer, and from east to west there is a 2,933 kilometer of the distance it is found there. And also, so as I told you that the intrusion in through the North Himalaya, some enemies they can enter, they can attack through the North Himalaya, especially northwestern part. In the northwestern part, you can see there are the mountains are very Shivalik ranges are found. I mean, there are small mountains are found, and also the Shivalik range having the different kinds of valleys. What does it mean of valleys? The valleys are a deep places. I mean, between two hills, there is a slope area. We called it as a valley. Okay, so there are northwestern part, there are a number of valleys are found, I mean in the Shivalik range. Okay, thus especially through the valleys the enemy can they attack, or they if you intrusion by using intrusion is nothing but they can give entry or they can attack us through the northwestern part, especially through the valleys. Especially what are the important valleys are found? Bolan and Khyber. So Bolan and Khyber valleys are through these two valleys the enemies can attack the India. In the ancient India, many kinds of example, Muhammad Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori. So Arab invasion. When you learn in the 7th standard, when you learn about the Arab invasion, so those Arab invasion like Muhammad Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori, okay, those people have entered the India by using the valleys, because they cannot attack through the north part, because in the north there is a Himalayan mountains. But when you come to the northwestern part there is a Shivalik range is found. In the Shivalik ranges the mountains are, I mean there are many valleys are found, and also the mountains are very smaller mountains. So that is why the enemies they can enter, they can intrusion through the valleys. By using the Bolan and Khyber valleys, they can attack us. They entered in the ancient India. And also Narmada river. Through the India, there are a number of rivers are found. Okay, especially the one river, very important river called Narmada river. It divides the India as a two part. Okay, North India and South India. In the North India, there is a central highlands, or also called the Malwa Plateau is present. In the South India, there is a Deccan Plateau or Southern Plateau is present. Okay, so completely Narmada river is divided the earth as a two parts and also made the two important plateaus. So in the North India, there is a Malwa Plateau, and also it is called as Central Highlands. And when it comes to the southern part, there is a Deccan Plateau is found. So and if you talk about the another rivers in the North India, there is a Brahmaputra river, Ganga river, Indus, okay, Saraswati, Bhagirathi. Okay, there are a number of rivers are given birth or rises in the Himalayan range, and they flows into the India, and those rivers we call it as a perennial rivers. What is perennial rivers? What does it mean of perennial? Perennial is nothing but the rivers which flow throughout the year. Those kinds of rivers we call it as a perennial rivers. In the Malwa Plateau or in the North India, we can see the different kinds of perennial rivers because they rise in the Himalaya. Okay, and also the Brahmaputra and Ganga. So they creates a fertile plain, that is Indo-Gangetic plain. So Indo-Gangetic plain present in the North India, it is a fertile land. I mean by using the alluvium soil, they creates a fertile land in the North India. So Indo-Gangetic plain, it is a fertile land, it is also found in the North India. And when you talk about if we talk about the South India, as you all know that Krishna river flows, Kaveri river flows, isn't it? And also these southern India, the southern rivers these rivers are not called as a perennial rivers. Okay, these rivers are called the seasonal rivers. Why we call it as seasonal rivers? Because these rivers flow only in the rainy season. That is why in the South India rivers are called the seasonal rivers. Okay, and in the coastal line, if you talk about the coastal line, the complete India, the coast from Gujarat to Kolkata, the 6,100 kilometer coastal line is found. How much kilometer? 6,100 coastal lines. Okay, the area covers, the Indian coastal lines covers how much kilometer? 6,100 kilometer from Gujarat to Kolkata. So if you talk about the eastern coastal plain and eastern coastal line, so eastern coastal line, there we call it as the coastal line divided into Coromandel coast. Coromandel coast. So Coromandel coast we refers to the eastern coastal plain, and the western coastal plain we can refers to the Konkan coast and Malabar coast. Konkan coast and Malabar coast refers to the western coastal plain, and eastern coastal plain refers to the Coromandel coast. Indian coastal line having the 6,100 kilometer. Because of this coastal line, there are a number of seaports are found. These seaports are carried to the foreign trade. So foreign trade erupts. Okay, and also many people are attracted by these ports, and they are, because of richness. So coastal line they have attracted, but many people they have attracted by the ports, and they have started this carried out for the foreign trade. The Romans, Portuguese, Portugal, they have started finding the new routes, and they started doing the trading with the India. So in the Indian and also the many important kingdoms also we can see. In the North India there is a Mauryas, Delhi Sultans, Guptas. So very important kingdoms are ruled over all the India. Especially if you look into the North India, the Mauryas are and Guptas. So very important kingdoms. When it comes to the South India, especially in the coastal area, we can see the many powerful kingdoms are raised. If we name into the Pandyas, Cheras and Cholas are the very important powerful kingdoms are given birth to because of this richness. Okay, this is all about the Indians' geographical features. So in the north there is the Himalaya mountains are found. In the south there is a Deccan Plateau and also coastal region, and also when there is a other people, the other country people, they wanted to get entry through the institutions are followed only through the valleys, like the Bolana and Khyber valleys. By example, Muhammad Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori, they used these valleys and they entered the India. And these are the stories you knew and you learnt in the 7th standard, isn't it? And also, Narmada River divides the complete India as a two parts, North India and South India. In the North India, there is a Malwa Plateau and also our Central Highlands. When it comes to the South India, there is a Deccan Plateau is found. Complete the Indian coastal line from Gujarat to Kolkata, there is a 6,100 kilometer. So, and powerful kingdoms are ruled overall the India. So this is all about the Indians' geographical features. So we can meet in the next class, dear students. Thank you, Ananta.